Shout out to the hottest chat in the MF game, A-Side official. No negotiation needed, period. You already know WCS the first in the building. I had to return back to my place of worship. Not to pray for these Errolsexuals, but to rebuke what Satan has put upon us. Now, those of you boxing fans that's been out here for quite some time, right? You totally understand. You get it. The ones that actually understands that if a so-called fan base supports a fighter, dislikes another fighter that may be a rival of the fighter that they love and adore, beats the fighter that they once loved and adored and now has abandoned, hasn't said anything since the first defeat, has since returned because the fighter who actually sent them into seclusion is set to move up a division outside of that division, which caused them to act the way they were. Sub-named fighter is not even fighting their favorite fighter because their favorite fighter wanted no parts of the previous fighter that once again disbanded his entire fan base. So therefore, this fighter is attempting to fight another fighter, which the fighter that has lost and had to go through a period of recovery, and also he never gave a damn about his wicked fan base. You know what I'm saying? The fan base that don't know shit about boxing. Now he's trying to clout chase and interfere with the business moves that this fighter who has became two-time undisputed off the strength of extracting that previous fighter's 3 belts that he used to have at 147. Now listen. This fighter who is responsible for all this havoc is fighting a totally different fighter. Well, allegedly, that was going to happen. Well, let me without further ado, let me introduce who I'm talking about. You may not know. Okay, this is the Hot Grease Chronicles, EP 293, year 2024. So I'm speaking about the one and only Terrence Bud Crawford once again, and Omaha's Monster Zone. So the fighter that I'm speaking of in the third party sense that would be the previous opponent of Terrence Crawford would be Errol Spence. And at this point in time, the talk was pretty much with Bud Crawford facing Tszyu. Tszyu gave off the fake impression that he really wanted to smoke. In the meanwhile, we didn't know that he was inhaling and he was coughing at the same time, and he was a little bit disorientated. And when he came to his senses, he found out that no, that's too much smoke. He don't want that type of smoke. He don't want the Bud Crawford smoke. He found out what happened when people bought a freaking Smoking Bud Pack shirt the last time. They found out. You know, Tszyu came to his senses. It's a lot of shit that goes on in Australia out back, but smoking a Bud Pack ain't one of them. They was told they better not see no Smoking Bud Pack shirts over there in Australia because they didn't want the shit to burn to the ground. So once Tszyu came to his senses, all of a sudden, Errol Spence is coming out of the deep dark shadows, man. You know what I'm saying? He's low crawling through all the pints and gallons. He's low crawling. All you hear is a bunch of bottles hitting each other. I gotta get back to that world. I gotta get back to the real world. I gotta get that fight. I hear Bud's name. I hear it too much. Look, this is a perfect example on how a fighter has so much power that you keep on seeing the signs, but you don't want to acknowledge it. But forcing Spence, who himself ducked Crawford and came up with a fake cataract surgery to prolong and delay and ultimately cancel the rematch. Now they go up to 154 where all the Errolsexuals want to see the fight. And it's a problem. The rematch expired. Crawford departed. Went his own way like he's supposed to. Now here comes his welterweight stalker. Yeah, I said it. His welterweight stalker has followed him up to 154 and wants a piece of the clout. That is the only way that his desperation will lead to a payday. He can't do it on his own. He needs to intervene with what Crawford has going on and try to get a fight with Tszyu, who looks like he's ready to get the orders. Seriously. Tszyu looks like he's fresh, ready. He just returned from a Diddy party, and he understands that he's now crossed over. He's ready to take the orders. Yeah, that's what it seemed like. But let's get back to these Errolsexuals, these filthy Errolsexuals. They are cheering the fact that Errol Spence may potentially drop in Vegas, but more so, all these titles are growing up. Come on, Tszyu agreed to fight Errol Spence. Tszyu agreed to fight Errol Spence. I never seen in 2024 a bunch of, individuals that I thought they had matured. I thought there was a level of maturity that happened by force. I thought they was forced into maturity. You know what I'm saying? I thought they was forced into maturity after watching July 29th. I thought they was forced into maturity. And look, it may have happened at one point in time. But imagine what 6 months can do when it's isolation, when you're ostracized from civilian pop, when you have to go into seclusion, dormant, when you're forced into the caves of the unknown because you betted everything. You betted the house, you betted the forks, the straws, you betted the ice cubes, you betted the keys to the doors of your wherever you was living. You betted everything and lost. But now y'all back cheering because you all are saying that Errol Spence backdoored Crawford when he was on the path to pick up his 4th division championship via the WBO. I'm going to tell you where he fucked up at. Errol Spence, if you listen to me, along with those Errol rats, listen to me carefully. You took the easy route the first time. Once again, brother, you took the easy route the first time. And you damn near was on life support. I guess a couple of vacations and about 60 happy hours done put you back in the freaking light. It's done got your confidence up to return back to public. I guess y'all had a private chat meeting and you got with the Errolsexuals and told them, rebel! He up there getting them together at the rally point and telling them, we have returned, rebel. Look, you can tell the worst fan base to do anything at this point, and out of desperation, willing to do anything and everything that sells themselves out, they'll get on here and start making lives like what Spence is doing is respectable. And we don't even know if it's for real or not. But if he is to step in and fight Tszyu, it might be to his detriment. But think about this, people. Him fighting Tszyu is a perfect style for Errol Spence. They pretty much fight the same, except Tszyu is a bit more patient. Tszyu is a bit more patient, man. Tszyu is a bit more patient. But I'm also going to drop something else to you. If this is indeed going down, it becomes official that Tszyu is going to fight Errol Spence. I have Tszyu stopping Errol Spence. Errol Spence is not going to get any stronger at 154. When your neurological headquarters isn't wired correctly anymore, there are some IPs that's no longer receiving a ping on the distant end. It's not going to work out the way you think. Furthermore, Tszyu is a tough fight. But Tszyu has to prove that he's a tough fight this weekend. And if he indeed goes in there and beats Sebastian Fundora, which is not nowhere close to being a shoe-in, the Errolsexuals may be gone forever. And this is how. If Tszyu loses that fight, then Errol Spence may be forced to return to fight Terrence Crawford in a rematch at 154 pounds. And the sickening part is that Crawford and Spence fighting for a vacant title, the Crawford supporters will get to witness T-Mobile Massacre Part 2. Just not even a year removed. We get to probably have the first presser. So you know where I'm at. I'm saying, hey, I hope Sebastian Fundora wins. Yeah, I do. Because we know Spence is not going to fight Sebastian Fundora. Then either two things going to happen. One, Spence is going to call out Crawford against his better judgment. Or two, he's gonna go crying back to Daddy Heyman and say, "Can you find me another fight? I don't want to call him out. I don't want that right now. I'm not, my cataracts." He's gonna find an excuse he's gonna find an excuse, man. You know what I'm saying? Not to take the fight. And he's not gonna care what none of you fight fans out there say about it. But to hear all the cheering, the plaudits, to hear they have a little bit of, at first you didn't hear nothing. It was almost like listening to the outdoors, man. And you hear them little cockroaches crawling around on the pavement and them little crickets freaking scratching their wings and stuff. You hear them little crickets going out. But now they found their voice again. They're happy that Spence is potentially trying to get a fight with Tszyu. And he's probably not ready. You know what I'm saying? The only way that this materialized the way it's supposed to per the orders is that Tszyu loses to Errol Spence and pick up his first loss. And nobody's going to be talking about Tszyu again. Only to get Errol Spence back into the picture, to continue to build and get some paychecks out of him as a fighter. Then, unfortunately, we will have to hear these Errolsexuals return from their freaking nest back to society and start bringing up old stuff again. See Crawford bad business practices back in the day. That's why Errol Spence went and did what he did, because of what Crawford did with with Bob Arum. If he wouldn't have did that to Bob Arum, he'll get treated a lot better once he trying to make these big fights with a PBC fighter. Just because he ain't doing negotiating with Al Heyman, he got to come see Spence now. Spence, he doing all the heavy lifting in 154. That's what I mean. Come on, man. I ask for you all deeply to be aware, very cautious of this plague. You know what I'm saying? They're coming up from the crates, y'all. If you shine your phone, take your phone outside and flashlight in between them crates. It's been raining a lot lately, so you might see their little beady eyes peeping out from them goddamn sewer crates. They've been waiting for this information to come back. They've been waiting. And now they're trying to act like they found their voice again. Because goddamn it, from July 30th to now, I haven't heard a crack. Look, now I won't say to now. I would say 3 or 4 days from previously. You didn't hear anything from there. Every now and then, if the light bounces off, you can see, their little beady eyes, peeking out from behind dumpsters and stuff, trying to goddamn find some chow. Because they've been out of house and home ever since July 29th. They've been struggling. But now they're finding their voice. They got with a temp service. They're earning minimum wage. And they're able to get their Wi-Fi service back, y'all. And guess what? They up here cheering that Errol Spence stopped Bud from fighting Tszyu. I never seen so much bitch assness in my life when it comes to boxing. They really want to glorify the villain and come up with excuses as to why they don't like Crawford. And it all leads back to something that they had nothing to do with. Crawford doing bad business, bad business, bad business. But what about the guy who was making bad decisions, period? The one who was out here making bad decisions that affected the business. Once again, listen to what I just said. They rather sit up here and vilify Crawford instead of holding Spence accountable for the bad personal decisions that he made that ultimately affected the business. So when you really look at the two fighters, Crawford and Spence, they want to talk about how Crawford was responsible for Bob Arum losing money, but yet they won't talk about the money that Errol Spence prevented Al Heyman from making because he wasn't even fit for duty. All because of decisions that he was making outside the ring. Park that. Just let it sit with you for a minute. You heard it here, bro. They continue to talk about how Crawford did bad business, but they don't talk about how Spence's decisions affected the business, which ultimately led to people losing money. How can you make money as a fighter? Let's just say the basic fundamentals, right, of business. How do you make money as a fighter? You have a fight, right? They don't pay you just from topics that's created on YouTube. These fighters get paid for going through and stepping through the ropes and fighting, right? So you Errolsexuals, right? I'm demanding that you stop being stupid. If you want to talk about bad business, you need to talk about the time away from the ring, which Spence wasn't allowed to fight and he could have been fighting. He affected the business and he stopped certain individuals from making money. So you want to talk about bad business, you might want to bring that up. You might want to bring up the 2-part series of bad personal decisions which affected the business, which ultimately affected the pot. The pot was the money that should have been made in between the fights that he wasn't able to make. How do you explain that at the end of the day? If you can't explain that to me, then y'all need to go back to where the nest, the proper nest that you came from, right? And sit down there another 3 to 4 years. By that time, Crawford would be 40 years old and potentially, possibly retired. You know what I'm saying? We have to repeat that again. It does you no good to bring up antiquated information which don't make any sense to what we have going on now. Just the fact of understanding that the Crawford supporters is looking forward to another fish fry. So we've already been through the whole gauntlet, y'all. We've been through the gauntlet so much that I know it. I know it like pages. I don't even have to start at the index. I can just split any page, and whatever that chapter's about, when it comes to Crawford Spence, I understand and I get it. But listen. We've been down this road and we totally understand that the fish fry was there for a reason. We understand that Crawford was able to win and become the first to achieve 2-time undisputed as a male boxer in the male era. And you know what I'm saying? In the male 4-belt era. He was the first to become 2-time undisputed. So when you talk about his fan base is pretty happy. We're good. We're cheerful. Jubilee. But it's the Errolsexuals who's always upset because they want us to feel like them, y'all. And I'm just trying to explain to people that at the end of the day, when it comes to these Errolsexuals who are climbing out of their barrels, right? You're talking about them trying to protect themselves, them potentially being food for the praise that's out there. I don't think they went through anything that was abnormal. I'm just telling you that we've been on top. We've been, boots on the ground since July 30th up to now. You all are returning to brag about Spence saying he wants to fight the winner of Fondor Tszyu, all because of Crawford doing good business and activating his WBO. You all are feeling good. Can y'all imagine how desperate this fan base may be if they're willing to cheer on Errol Spence for what they call cutting in now on plans that Crawford wanted to fight Tszyu? Let that sit with you. Listen to what they're cheering about. They're saying that Spence blackballed or prevented Crawford from doing business, when we know that Errol Spence has people that he has to ask to make everything okay. And look, check this out now. We all know that if Tszyu takes that fight with Errol Spence, he's not winning. Tszyu's not winning. That's if he takes the orders. But I'm not a hater like that. I'm not going up here and say, I hope. I'm not going to say that. All I'm saying is, it's a good possibility that Tszyu did something that Crawford has already done, and that's put him in retirement. Spence don't want to come back. Spence ain't trying to come back out of hiding to face freaking Tszyu. Because ever since the 29th, 2023, the 7th month of that calendar year, it's been a nightmare for Spence. And the same person that put him into the starlight He chose to come back at the right time just because Crawford's name was buzzing again and say, I want to fight Tszyu. He don't want to fight Tszyu, bro. He may be moving up to 154, but he don't want to fight Tszyu. Even though stylistically they match up pretty decent, he don't want to fight Tszyu. Tszyu, you know, yeah, him and his coach keep talking about, yeah, it was always on the schedule. You know what I'm saying? Spence, Crawford, Canelo. It was always out there. It's no secret, y'all. It's no secret. But the Crawford supporters understand from experience what happens when you take the easy route and you end up running to the Omaha Monster. We have experienced that journey. We experienced that particular fan base buying smoke bud packs. I used to look at the live streams. I have screen recordings on when they was opening up their package and they was laughing. I got my smoking bud pack shirt. They was so cheerful, man. They felt like it was so warm, like it was Christmas Eve. You know what I'm saying? And look what happened to him. Bro. I was trying to explain to people in the most polite way that a fish that runs into smoke will suffocate. And look, once again, if you are a fish that's trying to smoke, you will suffocate. Okay? But not only will you suffocate, if you're talking about in a boxing sense, and you are a fish that's been out of water the entire time with these dumbass comic and talk about, oh, I'm a shark walking up the hallway. I'm knocking on TC's door right now. And there's some eyeballs in there. Listen, bro. Anything to make this gullible fan base look as dumb as they are. They was cheering and all that shit. They ordered their shirts. Spence had an accident the day that he fought Avanesia and said the shirts are coming down, only to get you all to buy another shirt, y'all. And you did it. Then these Errolsexuals took a field trip. They all got on a short bus and they did a caravan and drove over there to goddamn T-Mobile. They're up there looking, signing each other's shirts. Yeah, 2023, August 29th, 2023. We did it. We here, y'all. They documented the whole shit, but they ain't gonna release the footage, y'all. They gotta wait 15 and 20 years for people to forget that they was actually a part of this disaster, right? So they was up there signing each other's shirts. They finally got to the T-Mobile Arena. You know what I'm saying? They happy. They was going to do a group picture after the fight. Tragedy struck. Tragedy struck in form of a jab. They seen the suspect, though. He was black. That's what made the investigation that much easier. The suspect was black. The suspect drew a long barrel jab and he fired. That's when the victim hit the canvas. And everything changed from there. It got blurry. The suspect opened fire. Each round, open fire. There was blood everywhere. So much to the point where someone had to step in and stop the violence. You're headed for self-destruction. The song started playing and the hand was raised. And then there was all this chaos and confusion, especially on the YTC, because there was some Christmas tree lights that wasn't blinking anymore when it came to the YTC. Logging into their accounts, the Errolsexuals going on here doing live streams. It was some Christmas lights that wasn't blinking anymore. All of a sudden, they wasn't on at all. The Errolsexuals have abandoned, aborted, and went into hibernation, y'all. Went into seclusion because they failed. They failed Spence. Spence failed them. It was just a big group of failures, bro. But now they think that, hey, we can return back to class. We can return back. The coast is clear now because we got word that Errol may potentially be out in Vegas. Nobody has really seen him since that beating, but all of a sudden, he's going to show up with no eye patch on, no wheelchair, and they're going to try to build up a fight between him and Tszyu. Once again, you're going to try to take what is supposed to be the easy route again. That just goes to tell you that his fan base, yeah, they made for one another. Because I guess you would have learned some shit from the first easy route you took. The first easy route you took, you try to land that plane with no landing gear. Now you up here, you got your fan base trying to return to your aid after you did absolutely nothing for them, just to cheer you trying to jump the line in front of Crawford like this is a schoolyard fight. Ooh, 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 ooh. I never seen this before. These are the absolute worst fan base you can ever wish as a fighter. I hope no fighter never have to experience a fan base like this, because they'll sit up here and try to bring back Errol Spence's name. They want to ignore what happened, but they're trying to come up here and find some negative. Look, y'all. Crawford hasn't did anything bad since July 29th. Hell, he hasn't did anything bad before then, but we're not talking about that. He hasn't did anything bad since then, and now they're trying to blame Crawford because they say he should have waited around and waited hand and foot. No. This is not the civil rights movement now. You're trying to act like we're on the plantation again now. You behind the house, goddamn telling on folks, hoping to get some scraps from the bones, them neck bones that you love so well. You trying to snitch on people. This is not the civil rights movement now. What is going on, man? What are we doing? How does this even take place, man? Seriously, how can we be in 2024 coming off a pandemic where boxing almost crashed and burned out, right? Crashed out. And we have this going on in boxing. Like Crawford hasn't did anything wrong since July 30th to now. But they are saying that it's his fault. Once again, because he didn't hang around hand and foot until Spence got off his 8 weeks of recovery, like he didn't have time before that in 23 to take care of that issue. Now we're talking about retardation. We're talking about retardation, y'all. These Errolsexuals are fucking retarded. They can't be insane. They can't be sane individuals. This man haven't did anything wrong, and they're going around here pretending like it's his fault all over again. They want to talk about, oh, he should have remembered that Al Haymon was going to get him back. Al Haymon's going to get him back. Let me ask you all this open question. This is an open-ended question. If you want to blame Bud Crawford for everything, and he only fought one time when he was attached to the PBC. Once again, I repeat, if you want to blame Bud Crawford for everything, and he only was attached to the PBC for a single fight, why in the F did Showtime leave PBC? Why did Fox leave the PBC? If Crawford only fought with them once and they had this huge schedule, so many fighters on their roster, and they was putting on these fights, why did the network leave? Why did they separate and divorce themselves and leave? I need for that to have an answer. Was Crawford responsible for that? Just curious. Was he responsible for the network leaving PBC? Because I can't find a video. I can't find a stream that the Errolsexuals are breaking that down as to why the network left. You all are up here once again cheering on Errol when there's been struggles going on in 2024 already with just to get a fight schedule. So therefore, how much money do y'all not care? Because look, when we used to talk about 2022, they was talking about how Errol did all the money in the pay-per-view and how him and Mikey Garcia did 300, 320,000, 330,000, and 333,000, 341,000. That's all you heard. It was money, 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 right? It was money, money, money. But now, nobody's really talking about the fights like they did back then. All these unemployed chief financial officers, life coaches, counselors. No one seems to be talking about money. So, you want to hear some crazy shit I heard? I heard that it's not really a big difference if Spence fights Tszyu than Crawford. Did you hear what I just said? You have people out here saying that it's not a big deal if Errol Spence faces Tszyu rather than Crawford because the pay difference is not going to be that much. Because once again, the hate, they saying that Crawford don't sell. They saying Crawford don't sell, man. Once again, I repeat, we going back to the Crawford don't sell. Look, the T-Mobile Arena was packed out for him and Spence. Now they coming back and saying that Crawford don't sell. So we all know that if Spence faces Crawford, it definitely should be more money in the purse or more money in the kitty than him facing a fighter in Tszyu that hasn't did nothing. Let me look up Tszyu. And let me just stroll and I remember when Tszyu fought Carlos Ocampo, and he was the WBO interim world super welterweight champion. And then we're talking about June 18, 2023. And then he's stepping there. And guess what, y'all? He fights Brian Mendoza October 15, 2023. He's the WBO World Super Welterweight Champion. But hold on, y'all. I want to burn the midnight oil now. You know what I'm saying? And pour some hot grease in it. You know what I'm saying? So we can send them back into hibernation. So after the Carlos Ocampo fight, which was June 1823, right? You go to Jamel Charlo's page, and he fought Saul Alvarez September 30th, 2023. Once again, Tszyu, he fought Brian Mendoza for the WBO World Super Welterweight title October 15, 2023, right? But let's go back to Jamel Charlo. He fought Saul Canelo Alvarez September 30, 2023. And the reason why Tszyu fought Brian Mendoza as the WBO World Super Welterweight Championship was because of Mel Charlo being stripped of his title. So if you're going to do some stripping, we kind of seen this coming. Like from the ATL, usually when they say stripping, we talking about a whole different damn format or outfit. You know, the outfit is different. We talking about pole dancing. But in boxing, the stripping is different. You know what I'm saying? It depends on what's being stripped. So Jamel was stripped and Tszyu was elevated. But then again, the same fighter that Tszyu is ducking, he also was stripped of his title after beating the guy who Tszyu is trying to partner up with for a fight. Crawford's payload from beating the guy that Tszyu wants to fight was absolutely incredible. It goes down in the history books, y'all. This was an unbelievable matchup. And it goes down in the history books. It further solidified Crawford to the Hall of Fame. And now Tszyu, I'm a little confused. I really want to send him an email. I really want to reach out to him. But I want to tell him, hey, over here. I know we haven't met before. I just want to inform you of something. I don't know if you or Mr. Jennings knew this or not. And you might want to sit down. There's been recent news of you saying that you wanted to fight the fish, whatever that is. Y'all call it the big fish, but it can't be big no more. Out there it was caught, cooked, and filleted and served out to the public. So I'm just going to get that clarification. But I just want to tell you something. You're infatuated with fighting Errol Spence Jr. And it seems like you want to recreate what happened when Crawford did it. I get it. It took me a little bit of time to just figure this shit out. But listen. I understand Tszyu is trying to emulate what Crawford did. He has the WBO title. But I'm here to inform you, Mr. Tszyu, that Errol Spence no longer has the WBC, WBA, and the IBF. That was at another division. I don't know if you and your team was briefed on this, okay? But somebody failed you. Errol Spence no longer has the 3 titles, okay? He is making his debut up at 154. You know that, right? Your coach said it would be good for you to get another fight in before you fight your mandatory. I'm just curious, did you know this information? It seems like you want to recreate what Crawford accomplished at 147. You know, you being the WBO champion and all. And you want to fight Spence. And maybe you think he still has the belts and somehow you want to put it into your imagination and bring the truth to the light. Like he was going to fight 154 and he has the WBC, WBA, and the IBF title. I'm here to tell you no. That's not the case, buddy. Even though Spence has one loss there, Zoo, you go out here and beat him, it's not going to affect who did it first. You understand that? You have to be aware. It's not going to affect who did it first there, Zoo. So you can flap your feathers around. You know what I'm saying? You can go up here and take this Errol Spence route because y'all believe whatever you believe with Spence. You feel stylistically he is a less dangerous opponent than Crawford. I get it. I get it, man. I get it. I understand why you would just want to put Crawford on hold and not go through that first loss the way you think you're going to it. I get it, brother. I absolutely get it. But all I am is being a voice out here, right? Based off what I seen last year, based off what I see you attempting to do, I just had to let you know that Spence no longer has those 3 titles. So you trying to get a fight with Errol Spence is not going to bring the same fan base as if you're fighting for undisputed. I just had to just let you know that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you should speak to Jamel Charlo about that because he was the former undisputed 154, and you never had a chance to fight him either. You know what I'm saying? You was elevated to WBO champion. Yes, you have defended the title, but you were elevated. You were elevated. I was combing through Crawford's resume there, Zoo, and he meets all the qualifications and checks all the boxes for you to step in the ring with him. But I understand that not every fighter that steps through the ropes can make that decision to face the most dangerous out of the two if they have options. Just like your trainer, your manager said, y'all have options and y'all gonna enforce those options. I get it. And you have shown us that you're gonna enforce those options and you're gonna show us how the DUCKMASTER get down by avoiding Crawford and going over there fighting Spence, which y'all feel that you didn't learn anything from the way Spence took the easy route. You didn't learn anything. So I look forward to the outcome. For real. You better get past Sebastian Fundora in 48 hours. You better get past him and see if this fight even takes place. It may not even take place, man. And I have to come back on here and laugh because now the Errolsexuals is going to be scrambling again, trying to say, oh man. See, they're going to find a way to blame Crawford for Tszyu not winning against Fundora. Believe me when I tell you, bro, they're going to find a way to blame that man. Let me get to the chat right quick. Shout out to everybody that pulled up, man. I had to do a late nighter just to drop in and spill some shit. You know, when you spill hot grease on carpet, you know, it kind of does some damage. You can't repair the shit. But the first, shout out to Mike on deck. I see you, bro. You know what I'm saying? He said Timmy switched early. Yeah, call him Timmy, man. You know what I'm saying? Call him Timmy. Oh, Timmy switched up quick. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what that means, though. It doesn't make any sense. I hope Bud shows up to fight, too. I mean, what are you talking about? Bud is trying to fight the person who's running away. You know what I'm saying? It has had school. Is school still on spring break? Are the kids back in school or are they still at home? It might have some strays up here now. I mean, what are you talking about? Hope Bud shows up to fight. He's already shown with 40 victories into the game. Shout out to Bruce Gas, Boxing Jazz, and more. The OG on deck, man. What's good with it, brother? OG Mr. Golden is on deck. I see you. The Outlaw Pugilist on deck. What's good? I can't wait till they interview Errol. Somebody asked him about Diddy James, the rematch in Cataracts, and that in that format. I wouldn't ask about Diddy James first. I would definitely ask about his recovery. We cannot just jump over and leapfrog the fact that no one really seen him like that outside of July 29th. And we understand that he did not show up to the arena to support his stablemate, Jamel Charlo, in his track race in the 4x600. You know what I'm saying? We didn't see that same support that Jamel gave Errol Spence when he was there getting abolished. You know what I'm saying? Emancipated. We didn't see him there because somebody said that Spence said he didn't want to be in front of all those cameras. But if he chooses to show up, I'm telling y'all, look for any nigga with the Pooh Shiesty mask on, shades, and a hat, walking around there. Y'all, if y'all real Errolsexuals, y'all know how he walk. Go up there and ask him the tough questions. Don't go up there slobbing them down and shit, man. Don't be over there slobbing them down. Oh, EJ. Be hitting your high-pitched falsetto voice and shit. I'm glad to see you, EJ. No, I don't want to hear none of that. Shout out to Mike. Salute to you. He said, great point, EJ's personal life affecting the business. Now, you explain to me how that ain't the worst. People have vested interest in you. They're looking to make money off you as a fighter. But yet you let your personal decisions affect the business. That right there is worse than you doing a poor business deal. You could have fought this fighter for more money, but you chose the other fighter, and then you lost. It's poor decision making that went on in that effort also with him taking the easy route. They always want to talk about he wanted to do all the heavy lifting. The Errolsexuals always talk about he did all the heavy lifting, but he chose to do the heavy lifting. Not only was he lifting inside the ring, but he was going out here lifting himself from bad decisions, you know what I'm saying, outside the ring, which affected him from being inside the ring making money. So who really messed up the bag? Who really fumbled the bag? You got to ask yourself that. You know what I'm saying? 402 on deck. Salute. I hope Tszyu pass on Spence, give Bud the first shot. It's not surprising that Errol is avoiding Bud. Like I said in the past, these fighters are chasing dollars. I can understand where you at with it. Look, you never hear me too much talk about the money aspect. But the reason why I mentioned the money today was you have people up here debating and saying that, you know, it's better for him to fight Tszyu because he could still make pretty decent money because they want to go back and revert to say that Crawford is not a ticket seller. But the house was freaking packed. Your house was freaking packed July 29th. You know what I'm saying? Both of these guys brought fan bases together that day. This was a fight that was supposed to be a rivalry. Several years in the making. Listen to the epilogue. Very eloquently stated how they was how the commentary was during their epilogue. And this was a rivalry that stemmed from two champions being in the same division on the pound for pound list, finally meeting each other in the ring. That what the rivalry was. And what made the rivalry that much worse and built it up was the fan base. You know what I'm saying? The fan base, people talking about it, anticipation and everything. And it finally happened. It finally happened. And we all saw the outcome. Now when they on deck, they really look bad talking about shit that happened a long time ago. They don't talk about nothing that happened after July. Listen, why? Look now. Why would they continue to do that? Because they're Errolsexuals, man. That's why. They have to find something that suits their taste bud. You know, something that they can relate to. If you're a crackhead and you think the feeling is, you know, that's a feeling that you want, and that's the only way you can function, you go get crack. You know what I'm saying? You're a crackhead, you do crack as shit. This kind of give me those vibes, bro. Like, why would you go back and talk about old stuff, man? That's over. See, Bud should be used to this because they was the same ones talking about Gamboa. You know, every debate that came up, they want to talk about Gamboa. So guess what? The way they talked about Gamboa with Crawford is the way they're gonna talk about Errol Spence on what happened when he stepped in there with Crawford. They're gonna be talking about this for 20 to 50 years from now. They are. They're gonna talk about this forever. You know what I'm saying? Forever. How you reward a fighter who just lost a title shot. So Crawford's supposed to have lost a title shot. Okay. First Fandora, but I gave it a pass because he's a replacement. But with Spence, it's shameful. Who cares about the actual spirit of the competition? How the F you reward a fighter who just lost a title shot? Okay, so are you talking about Thurman? Because Thurman, okay, you can't be talking about Thurman because they won the title shot. I mean, they won a championship fight. That was gonna be 12 rounds and it was non-title. It was crazy. So Fandora, but I gave it a pass because he's a replacement. But with Spence, it's shameful. Okay, I see what you're saying. I don't know. I don't know, man. At the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? Something's going on behind the scenes. You know, the hand and back policy is in full effect, and they're directing Tszyu. You know, he get in front of the camera to my 100%. 100%, man. Yeah, 100%. I'll fight them all. I'll fight Ennis. I'll fight Crawford. I'll fight them all. 100%. I'm saying to myself, that's not true. You're not being genuine there, Tszyu. He's not being genuine, y'all. This dude is up here. His manager has made it clear and say, oh, this is no secret. This is no secret. We're not ducking. This is no secret. We put it out there already. This is no secret. Yeah, it is. We thought, based off your fighter's words, that he was going to fight Crawford. Why wouldn't you want to fight a fighter like Crawford, who's a two-time undisputed champion? Any other fighter's name come up, and they throwing their accolades around. Manny Pacquiao can lose, however they say, and 8th division. You know, they put his accolades out there. Canelo Alvarez, 4 division multi-time. You know what I'm saying? The first to be the first super middleweight undisputed champion. They throw the accolades out there, y'all. They throw the accolades out there. But somehow when it comes to Crawford, they want to act like they have selective amnesia. His fan base goofy. How can you cheer shit like this on? If Bud lost, there's no way I would cheer for him to get a title shot in the next division. See, that's the most clearest. Look, that's the most understandable route to take from a true boxing fan. Because I wouldn't be up here doing no goofy stuff. Look, I already took a hit with Deontay Wilder. They fought 3 times. Yeah, I got my glory because he knocked him out in the first fight. Yeah, I questioned Jack Reese in an interview and said I thought he gave a long count. Yeah, we didn't have the same relationship after that as far as communicating with each other. People feel some type of way. But this stuff with Crawford, when you're doing all the right things and you want to glorify the villain, I can't stand on that. I can't stand on that shit at all. To hear these Errolsexuals come out here and want to cheer on Tszyu for ducking Bud. For ducking Bud now. If he wins to potentially vacate the WBO to fight Errol Spence, that tells me you're never going to get back around to fighting Bud Crawford. and your manager wasn't being truthful about that. You're never gonna come back around and talk about, oh, it's gonna be Spence Crawford. No, it's not. No, it ain't. You have Fundora to worry about. You have Errol Spence, and then after whatever happens with that, after you lose your title, you going to 160. Period. He's going to 160. Look, Tszyu is 29 years old. Do the freaking math. He's 29 years old, y'all. Let me look through his resume again. And WBO Global Super. No, don't count. IBF first. No. Let me see. IBF Australian Super. Nope. WBO Global. Nope. Let me go deeper down. Let me take out the shovel now. You know what I'm saying? Let me put my boots on now. You know what I'm saying? WBC Asian Continental Super. Nope. WBC Asian Continental. Nope. Oh shit! I just need to find. So you're trying to tell me 154 is where he picked up his first championship at? He was elevated. Got it. So he feels content. If he beats Fundora, he's unified to 154, and that would be enough for him to get one more money fight as the unified champion to vacate the WBO championship, fight Errol Spence, take the orders, Errol Spence to become the WBC super welterweight champion, so they can play the same fucking game they played in 2022. That's all. They want to give some type of leverage to Spence in the 154-pound division to potentially, possibly set up a fight with Crawford. You know what I'm saying? Potentially. If Spence want to return for a Crawford rematch, like I said, it may potentially happen. It'll be better if Crawford has, once again, that WBO strap. You know, if he fight for the vacant WBO strap and he gets that strap, Spence get the WBC, I promise you he ain't got them unifying and Crawford sitting back and say, oh, we're gonna wait for Spence to go over here and try to it ain't happening, y'all. Errolsexuals, it ain't fucking happening. If you think he's gonna pick up a belt and it's gonna be a 3-belt jamboree and him and Crawford's gonna fight for it ain't fucking happening. I'm gonna nip that in the freaking bud right now. Smoke that all you want. It ain't fucking happening. TBC will go down in history the most avoided fighter. Yeah, man, unfortunately, that title, it doesn't bring too many accolades because the accolades come with the fighters that you're actually fighting. You feel me? So, unfortunately, that title right there is not gonna hold, you know, like really get people to talk. Yeah, they talk about fighters being avoided back in the day. But you know, it's at a point where you can't even revisit it in real time to try to see what would have happened if they did fight. But God damn it, I can tell you in this era, we got to see some fights, y'all. And one thing that we're not gonna talk about, if they ever would have fought each other, it was going on for 5, 6, 7 years and they never fought. And that is Spence Crawford. We'll never be able to talk about that in hindsight as if it didn't happen. It happened. It happened, yo. But Spence the Truth, though, this is why I stopped effing with Spence. I mean, Truth, him being the Truth, the way he fought back in the day, I tell people, go back to the Lamont Peterson fight. He dropped Lamont Peterson, I think, in the 5th round. He dropped Lamont Peterson. He was lighting Lamont Peterson up, and Lamont was having some moments in there too. But he dropped Lamont, sat him down. You know what I'm saying? Sat him in that chair on the canvas, man. He got back up and still went several rounds after that. I told people right there, man, Spence's power is not what you think it is. Yeah, he's a come forward pressure fighter, and you know, he showed that he had a chin up to the point where he faced Crawford. But unfortunately, all the hoopla about him beating up Danny Garcia, him beating up Ugas, he wasn't able to beat up Crawford. And you know, it was so many damn ulterior excuses that was used to basically circumvent Crawford's win. It was shameful, man. It was fucking disgraceful, man. That's what happened when you had the worst fan base in boxing ever. You know what I'm saying? Ever. Appreciate that, Blunts. Would be a Al Heyman beach house with torches and strap season shirts, but lost and was getting a shot at Tszyu. Oh my God. What? What? Oh my God. What are you talking about? They would have had torches. I'm talking about different torches. We talking about flamethrowers. We talking about grenade launchers, man. They talking about protesting Bud and they never fight in boxing again. You know what I'm saying? They will be absolutely incensed, man. Do you understand? They will be incensed. Damn. Talk about protest. They will have to call the National Guard out there, man. JD on deck, man. What it do? Sir, foul player on deck. What's good with it, man? This is a bad look for Tszyu and Spence. Both men don't want to get in the ring with Bud. Like, look, straight up. If Bud was acting in this way, I would feel some type of way. I'm not going to lie to you. If Bud was acting this type of way and I just couldn't figure it out. First of all, I'm not talking for a grown-ass man, but I'm saying, like, the way I know him to be, if he was to try to basically revert to this type of mannerisms, I would definitely speak up. I was like, no, I can't respect that. But see, the Errolsexuals, they just let this man do what the hell he want to do, and it's nothing. Like they don't try to hold him accountable for shit. Like this is insane, bro. This can't be real life boxing shit, bro. It can't. Who is putting up with this? Who is co-signing this shit? Who is co-signing this, man? The Errolsexuals ain't co-signing it. They just gullible, casual, temporary boxing cheerleaders. That's all they are. They just want to be a part of something. If Spence was to come out here and do a live and say, yeah, me and Tim Tszyu has agreed on the fight, but I was told I don't talk to my fan base enough. I just want to say to my fan base, thanks for fucking with me. Stand strong. Oh my God, these niggas will be melting. And look, it'll be missing persons reports that so-and-so haven't been seen since the Spence freaking live stream because they melted away, dog. They motherfuckers melted, evaporated. They were smitten. These niggas was smitten. If EJ come out there and say, I just want to thank my fan base for fucking with me the long way, you know what I'm saying? I mean, stand down with me through the hard times and all that. Oh man, hey, Spence, the Errolsexual will be reduced a little bit because some of these cats will be melting away, dog. That's all they've been waiting for, acknowledgement. Just acknowledge me, man. I'm fucking with you heavy, dog. Acknowledge me, EJ. This is a bad look for real. The Lee Show on deck. What's good? Great to hear from WCS. Blessings always to you. Appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you. Thanks for pulling up, man. I thought Spence told his son he got to run it back. Them PBC thespians be working off script. I'm on the warpath, WCS. Listen, bro, I don't know what you took. I don't know what type of damn meal you had. But Juice has been on the motherfucker warpath, dog. I swear to God. Hey, man, you've been talking some real shit for real. You've been talking some real shit, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you, man. You've been talking some real shit. That shit is truthful. Gems, facts. It's opinions, but it's still it hit home though. 913 on deck. Shout out to Christopher White in the building. What's good with it, Christopher? How you feeling, bro? Sue W says, do you like Wheaties? Hey dog. Hey dog. They talk about is Crawford on the Wheaties box. I'm like, nigga, is Spence on the Wheaties box? I don't even eat fucking Wheaties, bro. What type of grown look? What type of man my age gonna goddamn eat motherfucking cornflakes and Wheaties? The only thing that look good about Wheaties is the color of the box and whoever's on that. And look, I promise you, when I go in the cereal section, Wheaties is not in my top 20. My pupils won't allow me to gauge Wheaties at it don't even start. I already know what I'm looking for. They talking about the man being on the Wheaties box, his looks. I don't know how to deal with this new school shit when niggas be talking about how other niggas are too ugly to be promoted. I don't know what that's about. It's a lot of ugly rich people in the world. Real. It's just not something I do. I don't sit up here and speak. People want to look at, they want to say that, okay, Bud doing everything outside the ring, the wrong way. But the reason why he's not marketable is looks. Guess what? You have to look at it in a way. When another grown ass man's talking about a man's looks as to them not being marketable, he's basically expressing himself. He's crying for help. He's letting you know it's an attraction there, for real. When you want to look at another man and say they ugly and they're not marketable, look at what Spence. And then they try to talk about internal to Texas. No, bro, I'm talking about globally. You mentioned a global freaking brand. A global brand such as Wheaties. And comparing that to Spence doing commercials inside the state parameters of Texas. The shit don't match up. Because I don't see his commercials down here. That means he ain't global. They don't show Spence commercials down here. But I can walk in the store and grab a Wheaties box. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying, man. I don't eat no goddamn Wheaties. He gonna tell him Bud got vertigo, or develop an Australian accent. The big fish every day. Man, I can tell you, Bud couldn't goddamn, have his skin turn like that, like Sammy Sosa. The only way he may get away with it is if he disappeared for a little bit, get the Sammy Sosa cream. You know what I'm saying? Get the Sosa cream, come back. Maybe grow his hair out or something, or shave it all off. I don't know. I don't think the way Bud is, it's no way he can get away with being who he is in life. The Errolsexuals will sniff him out. You know what I'm saying? They so infatuated with him, they'll sniff him out. They say, you know what? I know you from somewhere. Don't y'all? I know this dude from somewhere, man. It's not good. It's not good either. I'm picking up some senses. It's not good. This guy right here. They'll find out now. Because when you hate on somebody as much as the Errolsexual did, Crawford, and they know the signs, man. You know what I'm saying? They know the smell. They know the scent. They know all of that because they want to be in his business every minute of the day. You know what I'm saying? Little Timmy, don't let Spence have you. Let me tell you, little Timmy, don't let Spence have you waiting. Learn from Bud experience. No, Jessica. Hell no. You own to something, but do not give them any help. Allow them to go through what Bud went through. If he keeps them waiting, that's what they deserve for trying to take the easy route. If he want to take the easy route, that's what he gets. Fucking with that nigga, that's what he gets, man. Them ninjas stay in gym class all day. Man, I'm gonna keep on talking about this nonsense to be popping off up here. This shit don't make any sense. You know what I'm saying? High Grease Chronicles EP 293. I'm glad Crawford is back in. You know, it ain't like he left. It's just the fact that people want to see him back in the square. But those individuals that are still suffering from the aftermath of T-Mobile Massacre Part 1, you got the Errolsexuals up here talking about, oh man, see Al Heyman, he getting his get back. He getting his get back. That's what we were talking about. Y'all thought Al Heyman was done. No, 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 no. No, we didn't think Al was done anything. We was just saying what he's been able to do and squandering that money. Other people have since left and they're gone. So they were done. Until we see a fight schedule, there's still trouble. So Tszyu can go over there and think he's going to make his biggest payday. Cool. You want to sell yourself out to this shit and want people to respect you, you go ahead and do it, brother. But I was really rooting for you against Fundora. Now, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying not to channel my Jessica. You know what I'm saying? She said hope. Now I'm hoping your ass fucking lose. Now I'm hoping Fundora goddamn beat your ass and teach you a lesson. For real. For real, man. I don't like the game plan. Boxing has already been struggling in 2024. And then we got motherfuckers playing games and shit. Oh yeah, definitely, mate. I fight Crawford 100%, 100%. I'm like, no wonder Jamel Charlo was treating you like a little man. Bro. No. Shout out to Conquest on deck. I see you. What's good with it, bro? But man, we should do this again. I can't stay too long. It's been over an hour. I'll speak forever on this shit. But we'll be back again. It's fight weekend. It's fight weekend. And yes, I put it out there. I hope Tszyu, I hope Fundora doesn't get the orders. I hope he doesn't take the orders and take a second loss, man. You know what I'm saying? I hope he's recovered from that Mendoza knockout. But I hope he upsets all this damn scheming and plotting that's going on with these Errolsexuals. And once again, one of the weakest fan bases ever in the sport.